Hi YouTube! I'm here to discuss whether or not you should be pulling Genshin's newest aura farmer, Flins. To be clear, this is not a full guide, but more of a discussion on how valuable Flins is for your account. Flins is an electro main DPS from Notcry, meaning he'll take up field time in order to do damage. He specializes in doing lunar charge damage, which is the newest type of reaction. Instead of doing electro charge damage, Flins does lunar charge, which is similar to electro charge except it has a few differences. First, unlike Electrocharge, which uses the EM of the most recent applier, it uses the stats of everyone who's involved in the reaction. In addition, it's able to crit, so you're going to want to have a lot of EM and crit in order to maximize your lunar charge damage. Flins' playstyle revolves around using his skill, which puts him in an enhanced state that allows his attacks to be converted to Electro, allowing him to do his lunar charge damage. However, most of Flins' damage actually comes from his burst. He has two bursts, an aura farming burst, which you typically won't use if you want to maximize DPS, and a mini burst. His burst makes up a majority of his damage, so be sure to level his burst talent. In terms of resources, you do want to level Flins to 90 because it will help with his lunar charge damage. You can level his burst and his skill, and keep his normal attack at 1 because it doesn't really affect his damage whatsoever. So who should Flins pair up with? Well, as of right now, his best teammate is Anefa by far. This is because she buffs lunar charge damage, which we established earlier is most of Flins' damage. She also provides a nice shield, so if you don't have Anefa, Visual, Auroron, and Eonson can be a replacement. Another teammate Flins will probably want to pair up with is Ino. She's an off-field hydro applicator that can help contribute to the lunar charge reaction, as well as being a character from Notcry, which will boost your team's moon sign. If you play the Notcry story, you should get Ino for free, but her best cons are at C1, which gives EM, and C6, which boosts lunar charge damage. The best thing about Ino is that you don't have to level her talents to get value out of her. Her talents just improve her personal damage, which is very negligible such that you don't even need to level them. If you really don't want to use Ino, Yelan or Jingchu can work. For the final teammate, Sucrose is a perfect option. She provides VV for the lunar charge reaction, as well as giving a hefty EM buff to your characters. This is opposed to Kazuha, who gives an elemental damage % buff instead, which doesn't affect lunar charge damage. As of right now, from what I've heard, Flins' team with Anefa is sitting around the 100 to 110k DPS range, while his Anefa-less teams are somewhere above 80k. This DPS is still quite respectable, making him on par with Veressa if you have Anefa. In addition, we don't even have Columbina yet, which I'm suspecting will be a huge upgrade over Ino. Once she's out, Flins might even become a top 3 DPS, but we don't really have much information yet, so take that with a grain of salt. So that brings us to the banner. Flins' banner is actually insane because it consists of Ino, Dory, and Sucrose. We just mentioned that Ino and Sucrose were great teammates for him. Cons are not exactly necessary, but if you don't have Sucrose, she would be a great pickup not just for Flins but for Notcry in general. Okay, so what about his weapon? Obviously his signature will be his best in slot, but other options consist of Staff of the Scarlet Sands, any 5-star crit polearm, the Battle Pass weapons, or the new Notcry craftable. So with all being said, should you pull Flins? I think if you have Anefa, Flins is obviously going to be a valuable pull because he works so well with her. In addition, he doesn't share teammates with Mawika Premium. Currently, content is going to be shielded toward lunar reactions, so of course pulling him is going to make clearing Abyss and Stygian easier. However, if you don't have Anefa, it gets a little harder to justify because Anefa is about a 30%-ish DPS increase for him. However, he's not useless without her. We also don't have information on Columbina yet, who we are suspecting to be one of his best in slot teammates. This means that Flins might have the potential to rise even higher. In my opinion, if you don't have Anefa, then I would probably only pull him if you plan to get Columbina and or Anefa on a rerun. If not, then he probably won't be that valuable of a pull on your account meta-wise. Of course, everything I just said only matters if you care about clearing content, so if you want to pull for him just because you like him, then by all means go for it. Anyways, that's all for this video. Subscribe to see content when it drops, and follow me on Twitch at OraJohnny if you're interested in seeing me stream. I stream almost every day, so please check it out. Okay, bye.